That's good. Big Mama in the flesh.
Yep.
Big Mama. Look. What's up, John? What's up, Nick? What's up, Nick? I'm gonna do a little bit different style of Facebook Live than I usually do. You know, I'm always talking about real estate and wholesaling and flipping and mobile home parks and all kind of stuff about business. But you know, me and Big Mama have been together for been together right 20 years, huh? Huh, Mama?
Yeah, maybe closer to 21. But we've been.
You in
friends
Dallas,
for long.
Nick? What you doing in Dallas, my brother? What's up, Fred? What's up, Logan? What's up, Brandon? If you're on, please share and invite. Tag somebody that needs to hear this, that needs to hear the message. Maybe you're struggling in your marriage. Maybe you and your wife ain't doing that good. You need to get your wife to listen to this. You know, because I've been through the ringer with this woman right here. Mama.
Yeah, it's not been an.
It ain't been a Cinderella story, huh, Big Mama?
No.
Huh?
Not even close. No.
You got me pregnant when? How old was I when you got me pregnant?
I got you pregnant.
You got me pregnant when I was like
17?
17
Catholic
years old.
school?
I was in Catholic school and you got me pregnant.
Mm-hmm. Shame on me.
She knocked me up when I was 17 years old at a private school, at a Catholic private school, by the way. She seduced me. And but no, guys, on a serious note, you know, I don't want to ever do Facebook Lives about my personal life, but Fred said she's a good cook. Well, she recently became a good cook probably in the past 5 years. About 5 years, Mama? You weren't always a good cook.
Well, we ate out all the time until we had 3 kids. Because our third kid is a maniac, and we had
How to cook after the third kid was born because we couldn't bring him anywhere. So that's when I always had it in me.
Okay.
But it's Chris's love language, food.
And what else?
Yeah, that other thing.
Yeah.
That's the
Anyway,
second.
Big Mama, tell them what happened. You knocked me up at a junior in high school.
So I was a freshman in college, and I was 17. I graduated early, and we're 2 grades apart, but we're only 3 months apart in age. I was in college, and
I was a junior.
Chris was a junior in
Junior
high
in
school,
high school.
and I got pregnant.
At a Catholic school.
He was at a Catholic school. I went to the same school. We had been friends since he was in 7th or 8th grade.
Yeah, 8th grade.
You were in 8th grade. I was a sophomore when we first became friends.
Right.
So we've been knowing each other since we're 13. Anyway, so yeah, I got pregnant, and that was not easy. Alex was born the first day of
My
his
senior
year.
Senior year, yeah. But you gotta understand, guys. Listen, you know, I think people in their marriage and just people in general, when they get together, they think the problem with most people is they watch too many movies about marriage and like the way they think it's supposed to be, because they watch all these Hollywood movies that are not even real, that are just fake. The closest movie I could say that's ever even compared to like what a true life marriage maybe look like, or a relationship, is maybe The Notebook. But I think most people have a misunderstanding about what a marriage is, and and I'm not speaking from something I don't have experience with. I've been in the same woman since I was 17 for 20 years. We have 5 kids together. I think all of them are mine. But for the most part. But I want to let you know, guys, marriage is freaking hard. It's freaking hard, especially in the beginning. Like we're just getting to a point where we're the past probably 3-4 years we're doing really well, and we're just starting to get comfortable. But I think people are trying to find a man or a woman that's going to make them happy when they're not going to make you happy. I hate to tell you this, guys, but your wife's not going to make you happy. And if you're looking for somebody to make you happy, it's not going to happen, guys. You got to make yourself happy. And the way you have a great marriage is that you create together instead of creating apart. A lot of people, I know it's a lot of guys, they leave their wife and they leave every weekend, they go do their own thing, or the wife does their own thing. Like me and my wife do everything together. everything. And I'm not saying I don't go hang out with dudes, but if I'm going to hang out with dudes, I'm going to talk business. I'm not going to hang out to go, shoot the shit and drink beer and do nothing, right? But, marriage is hard, guys, and it's hard in a sense because a lot of people get divorced. They don't realize this. They got somebody kind of prodding them and probing, like kind of poking them, a third party poking them in the side. Or you might have a best friend telling her best friend's telling her, hey, you don't need to be with that guy. You don't need to be with David. You don't need to be with Fred. You don't need to be with that guy. He's a loser, or he's a this, or maybe you have an in-law. Maybe you have a mother-in-law. Maybe you have a father-in-law. Maybe you have a sister that's creating drama. Because anytime me and my wife ever had drama in our marriage, it was because of somebody else was inputting information or creating drama, right? And a lot of the time, it wasn't even between me and her. It was like I was getting information from a third source that was putting a wedge in between me and my wife's marriage. So understand, guys, like if you are struggling with your wife or your husband, or maybe you secretly, I'm going to tell you this right here. A lot of you guys probably going to want to hear this. A lot of you guys are probably secretly cheating on your wife and you don't want to tell her, or maybe you're cheating, but you don't want to leave your wife because it's too hard and painful to let go because you maybe have kids, maybe you don't want to split your wealth. But I'm telling you right now, if you are doing that, the best thing to do is freaking spill the beans, guys. Spill the beans and tell her what you've done, and you'll feel so much better, and you can start over. And I'm not gonna say it's gonna be easy because she's probably gonna be super hurt. Super hurt, My wife told me she was cheating on me with Brad Pitt. I was kind of hurt, but I give her a pass because it's Brad Pitt. But,
And it's not Brad Pitt.
No, it's Justin Timberlake is your fantasy, Mama. But anyway, but no, guys, seriously, like a lot of men. It's crazy because I watch a lot of different people that are married. Like they're cheating on their wives, they're cheating on their husbands. Crazy shit. You're not gonna make it if you cheat on your wife. I'm telling you right now, as soon as you cheat on your wife or your husband, it's over with. It's done. Even though you're still together, it's freaking done. You are finished. Your marriage is done. So yeah, exactly, Fred. Cheaper to keep her. Don't tell Dana I said that. I won't, my brother. But I'm telling you, if you cheat, the marriage is done. You may not. It may not, be that way on paper yet, but spiritually and emotionally, you're gonna be bankrupt. And you won't have a real marriage. And guys, if you've done that and you have cheated,
It's fixable.
just freaking spill the beans and come clean and freaking tell them, because I'm telling you right now, it's done with. You're not gonna better patch the wounds. But Sterling says our wedding is May 19th, getting close, man. That's awesome, dude. Congratulations. 23 years and that's awesome, Rick. 23 years, man. That's fantastic, dude. I love to see power couples. I love to see, I don't like when I see a guy trying to do things by himself or even a woman trying to do things. Dude, you're so much more powerful as a couple. You're so much more powerful. If you do things together, you're going to exponentially explode your wealth, your happiness, your children's happiness, everything. Like, if you stay together, make it work. Look what's the fail rate of marriage right now. I think it's past 50. It used to be 45, 50%. I think it's up to like 55, 60%. Most people are getting married and divorced 2 and 3 times before they kick the bucket. It's craziness, dude. That piece of ass across the street ain't that no better than the piece of ass you got in bed. Like with you right now, like you. There's no perfect system. Like it's gonna be hard. You're gonna have to create it, and you're going to have to work at it.
And work through problems.
Yeah, work through problems and know that the grass is not gonna be greener on the side. I'm telling you, I've seen it time. I'm almost 40 years old. I've seen my buddies go through 2 and 3 different marriages. What's up for Metter? We have 5 kids. That's fantastic. That's awesome, Trent. Almost together 27 years, Cameron. We got some killer couples on here. 25, 27, 20 years. Yeah, I'm going.
I feel
like it's important to demand greatness.
Say that again, Big Mama.
I think it's important to demand greatness. You cannot have
I want to go swimming.
Okay, give me a second. We'll go
Where's
swim.
my shirt?
Oh, it's in the bedroom.
That baby wants to go swimming, Mama.
We.
Your bedroom, Mama.
I don't remember. So, But to demand greatness, you also have to try to be as great as you possibly can too. You can't expect the other person to have greatness and be greatness if you can't try your best to be greatness. But some guys, you know, their wives are so passive. Like, you don't say a word that he's playing hours a day on, you know, gaming and video games, and he's not helping with the kids, not giving the kids the right attention that daddy needs to give their children. Like, stand up for yourself. Demand what you want. Like,
David Bell just said something really, really good. He said the amount of time you have to pour into your business only makes sense to share it with your mate.
It's true.
That's so true.
And
David, that is so true. You need that could be a quote, David. That is fantastic. That is freaking genius. That's so true, David. Man, I love that. That is so true because you spend enough time away from your family trying to create wealth, or trying to make a living, trying to support your family. Why not do it with your wife? Why not do it? Why wouldn't she be on the same page? Because then you can spend time with your wife, because everybody's fighting for time with one another. Hey, why don't you come? You never spend time with us. You always at work. No, baby, come spend time with me. Let's work together and build wealth. That's why we're bringing all of our kids into our business. We're taking all our kids out of school. We got a homeschool teacher. We're gonna do everything as a family, as a group, as a pack, right? As a family, doing real estate together, entrepreneurship, everything, right? And maybe our kids may not travel, everything. But it's hard enough to make a living. It's hard enough to, spend time with your kids and loved ones and your wife, because you're always at work. Why not do it together, right? You may be saying, well, Chris, I have a job. I don't have time to do that. Okay, get a side hustle. I'm telling you, we live in the 21st century. You need a side hustle. The days of trying to make a living with your single paying job right now, making even $100,000, dude, you can't even hardly live with $100,000 a year these days. If you got 2 kids and you make $100,000 a year, it's all gone by the time the end of the year. Like, it's hard to save. Get a side hustle, and we'll talk about the side hustle later at chrisrood.com. But my point is, get together, do something together, do something great together, and create something that's freaking awesome, right? Me and my wife been doing real estate together since we were 22 years old, freaking crushed it since we were 22. And I firmly believe, like, yeah, I'm good at real estate, but my wife has brought some phenomenal deals. Like, she's brought so much value to the table. You're more powerful as 2, right? 2 is always better than 1. Try fighting somebody by yourself, but if you got you and your partners trying to fight somebody, you're going to obviously beat them, because it's more power, right? It's 2 versus 1 is going to always win. So understand that you need to get your wife on the same page, and if she's not on the same page, go ahead and try to get her on board, right? And you can create together, have a ton of fun together doing this. What's up, Ken? What's up, Brian? It sucks to be honest, but I had to learn the hard way, brother. Thank you to you and your amazing wife for being so inspirational. Awesome, Brian. I love that, man. 6 years with my queen. What's up, Mark? Very true. Get rid of all the distractions. Ask Mama if she's willing to coach for women. Leo asks Big Mama, are you willing to coach for women? Mama, you willing to coach? No?
If they're okay with listening to someone who has no filter.
Yeah, no filter. Like, we real. We about as real. And
somebody asked me to write a few chapters on a book about raising kids, and I was like, I don't know if you want me to talk about that. And she was like, why? And I was like, because I'm gonna be brutally honest. Because I don't think fluffing things makes you learn anything. Like, you have to be real. Like, we have 5 kids, and let me tell you something.
They're all different. Every single one.
They're all different. It's so fucking hard. It's so hard. I don't know if I would pressure people to feel like, yeah, you go and have 5 kids, because, it's such a blessing. And it is.
It's a blessing and it's hard at the same time.
But it's fucking hard. You have to be the right person. So it's really not for everybody. And the only thing with marriage is, when I get nervous about talking to people about relationships, is it takes 2 people. One person may be like gung-ho about making it work. That other person still has to be equally gung-ho.
Let me cut you, Mama. You need a driver and you need a passenger, right?
Yeah.
You can't have 2 drivers. Like, I'm the driver in the relationship, and it's okay. Mama don't want to be the driver, but you have to. And then, look, your wife may be the driver in her relationship. You can't have 2 drivers or it don't work. I'm telling you, got to have somebody that's kind of got to be the cheerleader in the back, and you got to have somebody that's got to be the quarterback, or just somebody that's just plowing through the woods and creating that life that you want. But if you're both trying to do it, you may have some, you may butt some heads.
Everybody has.
You have to have your own hat. Okay,
Yeah.
a hat meaning like your job, right? My job is the kids. His job is business.
Making money.
I pay the personal bills. He pays the business bills. Like everybody has to have they have to have all their jobs written down so you don't cross over and argue about said jobs, right? I know Grant and Elena do the same thing.
But how much do you have to support one another? Like, how much have you been supportive of me?
I have like 200,000% in my soul believe in you and everything you do. I don't have any insecurities about you're not being able or capable to do what you do. So I just try to put everything into like, let me do whatever it takes for Chris to do whatever he needs to do because he's good at what he does. And I'm not going to stand in the way. I'm just going to, be a helper.
So what's the secret? How do you make a marriage work? How do you stay with the same person for 20 years?
Communication.
Yes, and I would agree with that. And knowing
You have
that,
to be
and knowing,
completely open.
and guys, and knowing that it's going to be hard, and accepting that, and accepting the challenges and the adventure, and it's going to be hard. You want it to be hard because at the end of the day, it's like, man, I made it. Like, you got to enjoy. Everybody's looking for the destination, but the journey is the destination. Like, you'll look back I look back to like when I first got her pregnant. We were going through. You're just like young and stupid and ignorant. Like you think like, oh my God, life's crazy. But like I look back and like I can laugh about it because it was funny. But we pushed through and we just kept doing the right thing, kept doing the right thing, and then everything works its way out because you just keep doing the right thing. If you keep doing the right thing, you make the right decisions, and the right decisions is just what the right thing to do, right? If you I'm not saying if you knock a hooker up at 2 a.m. at a titty bar that you should probably get married to him. I'm not saying that. I mean, I did, but it was only 12 o'clock when you were working that night at that titty bar, right, Mom? When I knocked you up, it was only was that lipsticks you were working on you were second shift.
Shut up.
You didn't take your pills that night. Anyway, no, just joking.
Listen,
guys.
nothing like that.
But no, the point is, but we did the right thing. Like, I was madly in love with her. Since I was in 8th grade, I used to tell my buddies, in 8th grade, I'm going to marry that girl one day. I'm going to marry that girl one day. Well, be careful what you say and what you wish for.
And I was like, oh yeah,
because
dude.
you may get what you want, right? And the universe gave me what I wanted and ended up knocking her up, 2 or 3 months into our marriage, into our dating. But the point is, like we did the right thing, I could have been like, and don't think, of course it crossed my mind like, oh, I knocked her up and, it doesn't mean I have to marry her, but like, I just felt like an obligation
That
to
was
do the right thing.
actually the first thing my daddy said when I told him I was pregnant.
You need to get married?
Don't think you ever
Oh,
get
don't think
married.
you have to get married.
Don't
Yeah.
think you have to get married. You be happy
Yeah.
with yourself, and we're gonna help.
Yeah, and let's be real, because if you've got a piece of shit as a husband or a boyfriend who just won't change and who's so selfish, and that's the biggest thing, guys. If you want to stay together, is selfishness. Most people are so selfish they can't stay married. And listen, they'll leave you, but they'll end up going to another person, but they'll be selfish in that marriage.
Right.
And they're never happy. They're not happy people, right?
So the best thing to do, because I have a friend in this situation, is just work on yourself.
Yeah.
Pour all your energy into working in yourself and improving yourself.
Honestly, that's what saved our marriage. Seriously, that's what saved our, because I was on drugs. I was making a bunch of bad decisions.
And I was devastated that you were on drugs. Like, honestly, because I never did drugs. I was always afraid of that. And I was like, how can I save him? How can I save him? But I couldn't save him. He had to save himself.
Right. What?
But once I realized that you were willing to save yourself, I gave you a chance. And
Well, you got to work on. Listen, when you're 18, 19 years old, you're not exactly learned, right? You're not an experienced. You haven't lived enough life to understand like what you should do. But
you have to give each other grace in a way that.
Yeah,
you're gonna do stupid things.
You're gonna make some stupid decisions, but you're gonna have to like grant beingness and let your spouse like mess up. Especially if you guys are 20 years old, you're newly married, you maybe 24 or 25. Just calling you like, man, I freaking hate my husband right now. I hate my wife, dude. Get in line. You're gonna hate your wife. There's gonna be probably another 100 times you're gonna hate your wife or husband. But the point is like that's why you got married. Like I could tell you, as you get older, it's not that that old sweet sex and love like when you're young. And dude, that's all like that's stupid because that's not real. As you get older, it's almost like a brotherly, sisterly love. But but
Well, because you know each other.
you know it's yes,
in
yes.
and out.
But you have to understand, like, you need to stop watching these Hollywood movies thinking that the Cinderella story of, you get married and it's ever, happy ever after. That's all BS, guys. That's all BS. I've been with the same woman for 20 years. I have 5 kids. I'm not talking about something I don't know what of. I'm almost 40 years old. I've been through the ringers. I know what it takes to make a successful marriage, and it takes discipline, self-sacrifice, and not being selfish.
And grace.
Yeah, and grace, and understanding, like letting your loved one, like supporting your loved one for one, and understanding like that, and I'm not saying like you may have a husband that beats you. I'm not saying
there's no excuse for that.
Yeah,
first
there's
of all.
not, I'm not saying that that you should stay with everybody and it always works out if you keep doing the right thing. I'm not saying that at all, but you really need to work on each other because I'm telling you, if you stay together and you look back 20 years from now and and especially if your husband or wife has good intentions, right? You got to have good intentions. Yeah. That's really I'm gonna tell you if I could say one thing, if you married somebody and you're like, I don't know if I should stay with this person, back everything off. Just take a step back and look at the marriage and say, does my husband have good intentions? That's the key word. When I'm dealing with somebody in business, in life, anybody in general, right? If I'm gonna do business with this person, I'm gonna be friends with this person. I'm trying to find one underlying thing, and it's does this person have good intentions, right? What's the intentions, right? So what, Mama?
Got a naked baby coming.
Oh, we got naked babies running. We got a bunch of naked babies.
Oh, okay. It's because it was raining.
But find out what the intentions are, right? What is your husband's or wife's intentions? Or maybe they are messing up so bad you're like, man, I don't even know what their intentions are. Maybe you should take a look at maybe leaving. I don't know. Maybe threaten it. But I'm just telling you, dude, marriage is hard. It's not easy. I don't claim to say I'm the expert at it, but I know I've been working at it for a long time. I know I've done a lot of different things. I know me and my wife experienced a lot of different things. It's been tough, right? So understand that it's going to be tough, but that's what makes it worth it.
Let's go into communication.
That's what makes it worth it, right? But you have to understand, like when you get married, you can't listen to your mom, you can't listen to your dad, you can't listen to your sister. Because you may have what's called a third party trying to drive a wedge into your marriage, right? So that's right, Leslie. Make marriage great again. Anyway, we got turn every mistake and bad choice into a lesson. That's right. George, addicts can make the best people when they switch their focus to something. That's exactly right, George. They're extremists, right? They're some of the smartest people.
You have to be extremists on the right.
Yeah, you got to be an extremist on the right thing. A lot of people that do that are just they have extreme focus, extreme energy, and they need to channel that into something that's more proactive and more pro survival than doing things of that nature. But anyway, guys, just wanted to reach out to you and talk about marriage a little bit. Like, there's a lot of people out there struggling with their marriage, and they're like, man, I don't know if I want to stay married, right? I made a post the other day, it went viral. I don't know, check it out. I made a post on Chris Rood Entrepreneur, it went viral. It had 4.4 million views, 36,500 shares, 19,200 likes, and like 10,000 comments. It's on Chris Rood Entrepreneur if you go on my fan page or my entrepreneur page. Check it out. Read that post I made. You have to scroll until you see it, but it's me and my wife in the Jeep. And I said something, I think it struck a chord with a lot of people across America. And but it's true. If you're not hanging around with your wife, if you're not doing stuff with your wife and you got to create the marriage. You got to do things together. If you're constantly trying to get away from your wife and kids, then you're dead in the water. You might as well sign the paperwork. You're gonna get divorced soon. Create the marriage together. Like sit down and say, okay, what are we doing? It's Saturday. What are we doing with the kids? Let's take the kids and do this, this, and this. Now, if your husband or your wife's like, I don't want to do this stuff like that, then his priorities out of whack, right?
You need to create the ideal scene between the two of you and work on focusing on just that. I've
Yeah.
seen.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta do things that, and you gotta be selfless. Like sometimes, like I take it for the team.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
A lot.
Hey now.
In a lot of ways.
Hey
Not
now.
just-
Hey,
not
hey,
just that
hey!
way.
You
Hey,
crossed the
listen.
line.
Like for instance, we were supposed to go to the World War II museum today, but it was storming like bad weather, and I was like, man,
The
I'm
World War
taking
II
this team.
The World War.
I'm
Hold
taking-
on. The World War II museum is it's in New Orleans. It's
Yes, so we were supposed to go today, and the weather was bad, and like I wasn't really looking forward to it. I mean, that's not my thing, but my children love it, and he loves it, so I'm gonna suck it up, and I'm gonna go, and I'm not gonna have a bad attitude. Like for instance, I have friends that go to Disney, and their husbands go, and they freaking bitch the whole time. How are you gonna bitch the whole time at Disney while your children are trying to enjoy themselves? Don't be that person. You take it for the team, you do what's right, and you know what? Most of the time you end up enjoying it, right?
That's right. That's right.
You do.
Fred was from Lake Charles. He's one of our students. He said, "I thought about getting divorced. Wifey had some bad gumbo and took a crap with the door open." that was almost the end. Hey, listen. Let's be real. Look, your wife's gonna fart in front of you, and it's gonna stink.
It's gonna be nasty.
It's gonna be yeah.
She's
I don't.
gonna
listen.
give birth, and you'll never look at her
Yeah,
the same again.
yeah. It's gonna.
Five
It's
times.
gonna look like Freddy Krueger is coming out of her bottom. Dude, that's real life. Like,
It happens. Like
you know, don't
none of us are
Don't,
perfect.
you guys need to get more real about life. Like I think
Yeah.
people are trying to like find that. The
Expectations
expectations is stupid. They watching too much TV, man. You're watching too much Hollywood movies. You watching these movies that think that you meet a girl
She's
and
not
you,
always gonna be young and beautiful.
no,
Like,
and she's gonna stink, dude. Let's be real. She's probably gonna stink sometimes. She's gonna forget to put deodorant on her breath. You're gonna wake up one morning, you're gonna roll over, and she's like, and she's right in your face, and she's gonna, and her breath is gonna stink. Like that's real life. And I know you 30 and 40-year-olds know what I'm talking about, but you 20-year-olds that are about to get married, thinking that, oh, I have a hot girlfriend, or dude, listen. She was a hot mama. I mean, she still is kind of hot. She lost.
I'm trying, listen.
Back in the early 18,
5
19,
kids in a
20.
number.
She was a bombshell, but her breath stunk in the morning. Still, it still stinks in the morning. but
Because I'm kissing you too much.
yeah, but the point is, listen, be real with yourself. Stop trying to chase butterflies. Stay with your wife. Do the right thing.
Work
Create the
towards
marriage.
it.
And if you've done something, if you want to leave your wife, and it's no logical reason, it's probably because you did something wrong and you don't want to tell her about it. You probably cheated on her. You probably did something crazy and you don't want to be real with yourself. Write her a
There you
letter.
go.
Write her a letter. Be real and say, look, I fucked up. I'm sorry. I did this, this, and this. You'll come clean. It'll be off your chest, and you could start over. Now she's probably gonna be really hurt and not talk to you for a week or two. But send her some roses, buy her a diamond ring, do something like really sweet for her, and rebuild the marriage. And create together. Do things together. That's why most people are getting divorced, because they're not doing things together as a husband
Find
and
two
wife.
things you enjoy together and focus on just doing that for a while. And then, be open to doing the things she likes. And then she'll be open to do the things you like.
Listen, I gotta take it for the team. She wants to go look at Chanel purses. You think I give a shit about Chanel purses? No, I don't care about Chanel purses. Waste of money and time. But that's what she likes, I like guns. Like, I'm a sucker for guns. Like, I love guns and just like military and old cars, and like she comes with me we go to old car shows. She lets me go to the gun shows. That's just what I like. But she supports me. I don't like going to Chanel places, but I just go with her, right? But that's the point, guys. Just support one another. Do the right thing. Stop watching freaking movies thinking that comparing your life to a romance
and
novel
let
on
them
TV.
know your
And it's not real.
expectations. I think I see a lot of wives, they're so passive. Like, let them know your expectations. Like, it's not cool that you're playing video games 4 or 5 hours a night when you should be spending time with your kids.
Dude, listen,
That ain't fucking cool.
if you
that
married,
would not fly in my house.
if you married and you got kids and you're playing video games till 12 o'clock at night, you probably
got a problem.
Yeah, you got problems. Like, you need to readjust.
Yeah.
You're off purpose.
Yes.
You're off. You don't have a big enough why.
Now,
you don't have a
if
big
you're
enough
playing
purpose.
video game with your kids and your wife and y'all doing it as a group, as a team effort, I can see that being valuable.
In time block, guys, like freaking time block. Like, my daughter loves to play the frisbee. Like that's her thing. Like, we go play frisbee outside. That's what she likes to do. I don't necessarily like to go play frisbee, but I enjoy watching her like to do things with me, right? Because that's what makes her happy.
She's gonna
So
remember
I'm being selfless about it, and I'm gonna take the time out, and I'm gonna do that with her. I'm gonna go play frisbee with my 6-year-old daughter because that's what she likes, right? You can't just be a badass at business. You can't just be a badass at, I don't know, golf. Like, dude, you got to be a badass at every aspect of your life. You better be a badass with your wife, your kids, business, you know, your friends, your relationships, you know, everything, guys. Like, it's not just about, like, I know you guys are used to me coming and talking about wholesaling. Dude, I'm sick of talking about wholesaling. I mean, that's easy, but I talk about it because I want to give content for you guys. But, man, if you're killing in wholesale and making $100,000 a year, but you're freaking cheating on your wife hates you, you probably hadn't had sex with her in a year, and I know that because I know buddies that hadn't had sex with their wife in like 6 months. Dude, that ain't normal. That ain't okay. Like, that's craziness. Get back on purpose, right? Repair your life. Look across your life, everything that you do, like your wife, your kids, your friends, your business, your body, taking care of your body. That's why your spirit, mind, body, spirit. Like, take care of every aspect of your life, and your business and life are gonna flourish. If I'm making, you know, millions of dollars a year, but my wife hates me and my kids hates me, so what? Who cares, right? So anyway, and vice versa. If you and your wife are doing great, but you're broke all the time, you got a problem. Like, you need to be doing something together
Or you need to
as
go
a
to
couple.
chrisrood.com.
Or chrisrood.com.
Yeah.
The big mama got to figure it out. But anyway, guys, listen, I appreciate you jumping on. Sarah says live every day like it's the life. Oh, live. I'm sorry. Live every day like it's
true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, you never know, man. You know, but listen, if you're struggling, it can get better. I promise you. Just do the right thing. Come clean with your wife or husband. Tell them you've been going to the titty bar. You know, she had to tell me she's been going to Chippendales. I mean, it's okay. I forgived her. You know, but just come clean and do the right thing afterwards.
And work towards the same purpose.
Yeah.
Define what your purpose is in your family and just work towards that.
Yep, that's right.
It's simple if you do all those steps. It really is.
Yep. But anyway, guys, appreciate you coming on. Appreciate you following me. Hope you're doing well. Hope you hear this message. Tag somebody needs to hear this. And work on your marriage, guys, because I don't care how much money you have. You may pretend to post Lamborghinis and freaking Ferraris and how awesome you're doing and you're just so perfect and things are great. But secretly you're miserable because you and your wife are not doing well, or maybe you don't even have a girlfriend and you're secretly covering up for it. Life, listen, you could be rich monetarily, but you morally and spiritually bankrupt, and you're bankrupt with your wife and kids. So be a turnkey, 100%, you know, turnkey circle, like,
and you're never
live
gonna
life,
be
man.
perfect at all of it, but
No.
as long as you're trying, that's the goal.
That's right. Tag somebody who needs to hear this, share this stream, and if you want to be a badass in real estate, go to chrisrood.com. I'd love to help you. We're killing it. My students are killing it. Peace. Love you. Take care. Bye.